I've been excited for Iron Lung since it was first announced. That first trailer that dropped on Markiplier's channel where he's rising out of the blood and that whole thing. It's so cool. But I'll be honest, it's mostly because it was a Markiplier project. I kind of tend to follow his stuff A Date with Markiplier, going forward all the way up to Who Killed Markiplier, In Space. As far as Iron Lung itself, though, like the game originally, I didn't care too much for it when I first played it. I felt like it was slow. I felt like I didn't fully understand what was going on as far as either the lore or the actual gameplay felt kind of clunky, but I think I just wasn't being patient with it. I don't really know. Who's to say, honestly? So I kind of walked into the movie not knowing how I was going to feel about it. And after that first time watching it, I left with a lot of questions, and it had me wanting to play the game again. I wanted to understand the context of the story, the universe of Iron Lung, to understand even how close of an adaptation this actually was, because I think it comes pretty close. I do want to say too, before I get too far into this is not a review. I'm not reviewing this. I want you to form your own opinion. If you haven't already, go see it. You might like it, you might not. There's a lot of maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Even me and my other half, our opinions differed quite a bit. But go and form your own opinion, because I think it's worth a watch no matter what. I just want to talk about this phenomenon of this brilliant guy making a movie about an experience he's passionate about, despite whatever critiques I may have of it. I think it's really hard for a game to break into a film medium, because they're two different things. There's a lot more interactability. Interactivity? However you say that word. There's a lot more interactivity to do with a game, obviously, because you are the player, you're the person controlling everything, and such is the case with Iron Lung. There's nothing else. Part of the isolation is what makes the experience the experience. The movie doesn't just try to pull that into an on-screen adaptation to pull in box office tickets. It tries to deliver the same experience for the active viewer. I think it's rather faithful in that regard. As the story goes along, you see Simon go through this experience of what it is to be at the bottom of the blood ocean in a rinky-dink sub that probably could fall apart at any second. In Markiplier's first Let's Play video of Iron Lung, at the end of the game, he regards the game as an experience that is both constant and pervasive. The threat is just everywhere, it's constant. There's really no getting away from it, because no matter what, you are trapped. Markiplier's character in the movie, Simon, he oddly feels like the protagonist of the game. I know that that's more or less the point, but as you're watching it, it feels like an experience that you are not only just observing, like watching, you actually feel like you're part of it. Like, it feels personal, because you see him struggle, you see him talking to himself, you see kind of this human emotion being conveyed through him. I believe that he's there to make the viewer empathetic. I like that Simon isn't some crazy protagonist with some super distinct characteristics to make him unrelatable. He's mostly just a normal guy, and you can feel through him talking to himself and talking to the very, very small amount of side cast that there is, how bad his situation is and where he is mentally, his stages of fear, the outright mental exhaustion of it all, him bargaining, the denial, and eventually the acceptance. I don't know. Telling a human story is such a hard thing to do, especially when it's off of an original source material, and you have to take creative liberty with a character, but I feel like this character fits right in this universe. And that's probably because of how each piece of the story was fit in from the original game. Like I said, great liberties were taken to drive the climax. That's fine. That is totally acceptable, and I think actually enhances the experience. But all of the pieces that fit into this puzzle are from the source material. Now, from what I understand, the actual story delivery, I'm not going to get too far into it, because if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil that for you, and if you want spoilers, I'm sorry, just go watch the movie. From what I understand, the story delivery itself was not the original creator, David Szymanski's original vision, but he was consulted with the whole time and kind of give his input, what would work, what wouldn't work, the ideas that fit into his universe, what didn't, and they came to this really even understanding to keep it an honest translation. I actually went and saw Iron Lung 3 times, and for whatever reason, the story beats just didn't click for me the first 2 times. I mean, I got more and more each time I watched it, but I just didn't understand what was actually happening as far as the newer parts of the story. Like, anything that was in the game, I kind of comprehended, I'm with it, but I just had a lot of unanswered questions. The answers were all there. I'm just a bit slow. I don't know why it wasn't clicking, but it did take me a second. After my last time, I was driving back home from the theater and I was like, oh, okay. So I've talked a lot about what this actually is as an adaptation, as a translation from video game to movie. And I want to talk now about what this could mean for the future of cinema, of visual projects, of even video game adaptations in general. I think it's so interesting because this really opens the door for people to create a genuine experience. And at that, it was independently made. I don't know how independently that goes. I don't know the whole process. All I know is what I've heard secondhand from his videos talking about it here and there. But it is very inspiring. It's even a good feeling when you go sit in the theater and you go straight from a trailer, straight into the movie. No studio cards, nothing, just bam, straight into the movie. I love that. That feels good, and it feels very human. It feels very personal. And I guess overall, it just has me excited for what comes next, either from Mark or David Szymanski. It's just creators taking risks, putting their heart and soul into projects, keeping other hands out of it. And that's as far as I'll go. I loved not seeing studio cards. That was really cool. I liked that a lot. But seriously, if you have any interest, I truly think that you should go see this movie. It's worth a watch at least once, whether or not you like it. I don't know if you will. I don't know if you won't. I don't know. I thought it was cool, but there were also parts of it that I didn't quite like. So that's why this isn't a review, because it's not what this is about for me. And if you have any interest, you should support what this could mean for independently developed projects. I think that it's important that we keep the creative works passionate. See you next time.